Hey everyone, welcome back to a pickups video. Let me adjust the mic here. Quite a bit has gone on since my last one. If you're just interested in the game, skip a few minutes ahead and you'll see one up here. Unfortunately, I will not have footage for everything I'm going to show, mainly because of time. In fact, just today I hooked up everything back up in the den here to record a few games just to have something to show. I did have some previous footage from that nostalgic tag video where I had tried some of these games out and recorded some footage I used for it. So you'll have that and a few more new clips from some down here. But basically, right after the last pickup video, so it's been about 3 months now, I was signed on to another client and my pay got a bump, which was nice, making more than I ever have, sailing along smoothly, and then some work got pushed back, some more work got pushed back. So the main company I work for is last 3 years we've done more business each year than the previous. So this year we had sky high hopes. Well, cut to later on, like 4 projects have been pushed back from early this year to early next year. But we were down to a $2 million package. It was 3 projects, $2 million. And there's Guy A and Guy B. They're related, but they both work in our field division. Guy A runs it. Guy B hears from his pastor, hey, they've been wanting us to get in this plant. We have it set up. Let's go meet them. He said it's a done deal. So they both go meet the pastor, who's the plant manager. He tells them, yeah, we've wanted to get rid of this other company for a while and get you guys in. Well, they finally screwed up enough to where we can get you in. So boom, we're excited. We had a few small projects at the beginning of the year, but now a few months have gone by and we don't have anything, and it's starting to look a little dry. The guy's saying, "Are you sure you're ready? Do you have everybody? You have nope, everything's set up. Don't worry about it. We have the people, we have the materials, the funding. Let's do this." So we tell the people who finance the company, "Hey, we have this coming down." They're relieved because they're in a whole other industry, has slowed down, and we're saying, "Hey, don't worry, we've got it." And then the work's allocated, and we don't get any of the 3 projects. The guy told everyone, the 2 guys and another rep, you have it. Doesn't give us a reason why. Essentially, I think we were used just for them to get a budget to give to someone else to submit, which made us even madder. So the people that finance it hear this, and they're not pleased. So they say, okay, there's going to be some cuts. They go to the top field guy. They say, you decide what cuts you need because something's got to happen. So keep in mind, the cuts didn't come until about 5 months of 0 projects. So these guys have done nothing for 5 months. They've gone to 2 trade shows, which are right by their house. And they went to like that one plant walkthrough. They come back with still their regular pay, but less 10 hours a week. And instead of getting their full auto allowance, they get half. And that's it. That set off the guys who finance it. They are just furious. Because first of all, they're saying, why do we pay you an auto allowance if you're not working? If you're not working, you're not driving anywhere. If you're not driving anywhere, then there's no wear and tear on your car. Why are we paying for any of this? And they tell us, the people that manage that division, oh, well, we all have car notes. Like, we're supposed to go back and tell the financiers, oh, hey, they need money. No, you pay your car note out of your check. What we've been giving you is not for your car note, it's for the wear and tear on your car. What made it worse is they also submitted a bill for like $1,000 in auto improvements, like tires, oil change, tire rotation, maintenance. And that made them even madder. They're going, first of all, you're getting paid to use your car when you're not using your car, and then you charge us for the wear and tear you've personally put on, even though you've already gotten paid for it. So they immediately wanted to sell the whole division. They got so mad. Well, no one wants it now because we have no projects. Last year, tons of people lined up. They wanted it. Everyone wanted it because we've just, like I said, the last few years done more and more work. So I got cut back to like $9 an hour for that company. So right as I was hitting that peak, I got dropped down. Well, I still work for three other companies. Well, one of those other companies is financed by the same group. And I had actually been doing that for free, basically, which I hadn't minded because since the main division I worked for had slowed down, I thought initially I was because they were busy. Both divisions were busy. I was swamped. But as one slowed down, I thought, well, yeah, I'm not going crazy working for them. So, in my downtime, yeah, I can work on the other one. So I was still working for two other companies, but yeah, the pay has decreased significantly. Far from broke or anything like that. I mean, we're doing great. It's just I had so much more spending money. Fortunately, I had used that for home improvements and stuff. So all my big things are out the way. We do want some small things like to replace a column outside, fix up a bathroom, but all that's just going to have to wait. Just going to take me up a little while longer to save. But around that time, about 2 months ago, I decided, not a whole lot coming out that I really want. You're going to see a healthy pile here. A few of these are replacements that I got to swap out with older copies. Most of these are bundles I got off of forums or eBay. Really good deals. But yeah, in general, slowed things down a bit. I've made an effort to go through my PS3 stuff, and I really want to make an effort to go through my Wii and Wii U stuff because I've got a lot of games for those I think I'll really enjoy, but I keep letting the controls put me off. But for PS3, I've got a stack right there. I'm going to have a video and just show them and, send that out to people, and whoever wants it, they can have it. Let's see, over a dozen PS3 games there easily. And I've still got a few more I want to go through. But some things crop up. Like I did play through some of these games. I've read a few books. I'll talk about those in a later book video. But I'll just go ahead and get started. But another thing that happened, why I haven't played a lot of these, is we had terrible weather. So we had a tropical storm, and then a few weeks later, we had Hurricane Harvey come through. Now, it didn't directly impact my town. However, we were on the east side of it, and in a hurricane, that is the generally worst side. This time, the eye was really bad, and that hit probably, it went into Houston, and then it veered and started going east, and it got to within about 20 miles of my house. But what happened was we started getting rain sooner than other people. However, it came in bands. So it would hit hard, then flood, and then it wouldn't completely stop raining, but it would lessen just enough to where it would drain. So I took a video to show the guy who put in my gutters because they started overflowing. And I don't think the video will come out too good, so I won't show it, but I will play it so you can hear the audio to see. Let's see here. Hopefully this comes in good. But this is what it sounded like for about 6 days straight. Let me get the video up. Like I said, it came in bands. So I had double sandbag my house. So fortunately, no water came in, although the water did get so high that it covered one row of sandbags entirely. But here, let me turn it up. And this is what it sounded like for 6 days straight. Yeah, so let me pause this. Let me see if I can show this here. I'm not sure if this is going to come in. Nah, it's not. But basically, that's a row of sandbags that's completely covered with water, and that's the second row on top. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to come in. But that sound you heard was for 6 days straight. It is enough to drive you insane. I really feel for people who got hit hard. My cousin lost everything. He was in a town about 20 miles. He got like 3 feet of water in his apartment. Some of the bankers we work with in Houston got 9 feet in their apartments. I mean, in their houses. They lost everything. So it hit really hard. So I had everything unplugged. Just poof, unplugged everything. Some time went on after that, and about a week or two, and then we went to Denver to see my brother. So we did that for a few weeks, and so or for a week we hung out a little bit more, me and my wife, just because we hadn't actually gone anywhere in a long time. We drove all through that area of Colorado. Freaked me out. I am not used to heights like that, and she took it like a champ. But so I haven't really gamed a lot in some respects. Everything back here was unhooked for the storm, and I never hooked it back up until today. So let's just get started. Uh, I'll show the non-gaming stuff first. I've been on an anthology kick lately, and I picked up The Veil. Now, this is a Boris Karloff helmed anthology. It was on TV in 1950. I want to say 55. Oh, here we go, 58. It came on before the Twilight Zone. I don't think they aired them all either. There's not many of them. There are 26 minutes and there's 10 of them. Now, the thing with this is these stories aren't going to blow you away because they're not original, obviously. They're some of the first ones televised, so you're not going to get your... It's more for the atmosphere is why I got it. Crackly, black and white, traditional ghost stories. Nothing that's going to wow you. Slightly later release, the Friday the 13th, the series. All 3 seasons. I got this for like $16 on Amazon. Not quite as good as I remember. I knew it was hokey. I'd seen them, quite a bit of them before. I think Chiller showed them, and my parents get Chiller. They inherit a pawn shop from an antique shop from an uncle, a distant uncle, and now these 2 cousins and their professor friend have to go get these haunted items. It's late 80s, early 90s fun, really. From mid to late 2000s is Fear Itself. This was about $8 because it was only 1 season. This is hit or miss. Like they had a budget, and you see quite a few actors in here who went on to be in bigger movies. Like the woman who's in the main character in Handmaid's Tale. She's in the 2nd episode, which is a director's cut. So it's got a little more gore, but that's the thing, is because it's for NBC, it's a little too glossy. It's not gritty enough. So they'll show some gore, but not a lot, unless it's like the director's cut. So like I said, a little too glossy, but it was under $10, and it's I'm gonna get $10 out of that. I've seen them all before, and there's a few pretty good ones in there. I also picked up quite a while back. It was a pre-order. They had a sale at Shout Factory of some Steelcase copies of several movies. I bought The Fog, which I can't find it. Me and my wife did watch it, and They Live. Let me see if I can get this to focus. Why I got them through Shout Factory themselves is that you got a poster with this art on it for each film. That's very reflective. Okay, that's just a... But yeah, I already had They Live. My wife said, "Do you really need another copy?" I said, you don't ask me that. Yes, you need every copy of They Live they have. I have to have all the supplementals. Also picked up this book. It basically talks about how the Old Testament there's heavily influenced and lifts a bit from Canaanite mythology, which even if you're not really interested in that, what I like is reading about, the Assyrian and Sumerian gods, just because I don't run across that a lot. And this draws links and parallels, and I do enjoy reading how different mythologies have like cross-pollination, how that's most evident in Greek and Roman, how they just link their gods together, have different names, but they recognize how similar they were. So that's just an interesting side topic I enjoy. Now for the games themselves, let me start. I'll go with the oldest first. Like I said, I didn't get to play a lot of these. I picked up Noon. This is a action puzzle game I saw on Sega Lord X's channel. Very colorful. I will put footage up later, just not for this video. A guy out of Germany had this for $10, but would not ship to the U.S. I tried to get him to, but he refused. So at an actual auction, and not a buy it now, I got it for a pretty good price. For about $5 with $2 shipping is Terra Fantastica. This is an early strategy role-playing game. I had had my eye on this for years. Always waited for a fan translation. One didn't happen, but you can get menu translations and stuff off the internet. So I figured I'd get it and give it a go, especially because it came with everything, the spine card, a poster, something else is in there. Like I said, it was about $5 with $2 shipping. This went for $4, sans spine card, but it's Father Christmas. I've heard it's not too good. It's just a bunch of mini games with Santa Claus for the Saturn, but I try to collect Christmas games, and I definitely want to be playing this soon. So, Father Christmas. For PlayStation, I got... this is a Konami fighter. I have not been able to try this yet. It's just real colorful. It's 3D. There's only one screenshot on the back. You can probably barely make out if this will focus. This is a Logitech camera I read really good things about, and it's not proving to be that great. I might go back to just the regular camera on the laptop, as poorly as it is. This is called... Oh, they actually don't have the English on it. But yeah, it was a 3D fighter. It looked fun, wacky characters. It was part of a bundle. This is Armored Trooper Votoms, based off an anime, I want to say. Armored Core-like mech action game. This is the first... Oh my gosh, there we go. This is the first Kingsfield. Kingsfield 2 overseas was our Kingsfield 1. They just didn't bring over the first. Well, this is the first, and it had a fan translation back in like 06, so the footage I'm showing is of the fan translation. Not too much action is going to go on, first of all, because it's a Kingsfield game. Second of all, because I just really wanted to show the English. But I really want to play through this series starting with this one. I have the US 1 and 2, which is 2 and 3, and I have the fourth one for PS2. This is Battle Arena Toshinden 1, which I already have, but I had never seen the slipcase before. It's and since I bought this, I've seen it one other time, and both of them have giant circles punched out of the back. I'm not sure what that means, if maybe this was just for store displays, but I thought that had a really nice bit of art on there. I'm a sucker for slipcases. I don't know why, but yeah, this camera is not great. I am seeing this now, but yeah, I like the art on here. Like I said, had never seen it before, and as I'm waiting for mine to come in, I saw one pop up. They're both cheap. I mean, if you're interested in the series like I am, you can get them for next to nothing. And speaking of which, I grabbed Toshinden 4. This was not released here. It was released in Europe, but they skipped a US release. I'm fully aware the Toshinden series isn't great. It has not aged very well, but it holds a special place in my heart just for how early I played it. I got a lot of nostalgia with it, mainly with the first two, but I'm just a sucker for it. It's just such a offbeat series that went on for a really long time, because you have those four plus like a Super Deformed one like VF Kids or Virtua Fighter Kids plus another puzzle game. So that's a lot for a series that was pretty basic. Although I think it was the first to implement side rolling. Another import here. I've shown footage of this in the nostalgia video, which I'll show again. This is Veldezelba. It's kind of steampunkish with airships. It's a role-playing game. It looks fantastic. I'm so jealous that people were able to play this, because it was not brought over here, obviously. This is one I hope someone fan translates. I want to say Sony themselves put it out, and it looked like they spent a lot of money on this. And yeah, you get to travel around and do airship combat and ground base levels where you go interact with people. Let me see if I can get this to... There we go. You see the ship at the bottom. I'm just going to show footage of it. But yeah, this looks fantastic. I really hope this gets fan translated. Speaking of hoping about fan translation, this is another one I've seen mentioned on lists before. Oni Zero. This had a bitch of a menu to get through. I kept getting bounced back between these like 2 or 3 memory card menus. Not sure what it's saying, but someone on GameFAQs has translated the in-game menu and the battle menu. This has combat that looks like Suikoden. It's got that perspective. Although the world navigation, you move kind of fast, like your character doesn't have much weight. But I've seen this mentioned on several lists of people who want like what they want localized or fan translated. It looks really good too. So I'm hoping this is one that gets it, that gets some attention. And this is internal section. This is a Squaresoft. I'll call it a tunnel shooter. It's okay. I got it pretty cheap. It'll go for about 30, but you can easily get it for less than that. I think this was about $12 with 2 or 3 shipping. I actually got it from someone around here, not this state, but in the US. It's okay. Very late '90s in aesthetic. I mean, it's fun. It's not something I'd expect from Square though. I've been kind of on a kick to get um, PlayStation 1 RPGs. Let me move here. This was a forum buy, which I'll show us some other games. Well, I'll show the other games first. Someone on a forum had a bundle. They had a bunch of stuff, and you've bundled things together. You got them cheaper, so I picked up the Saturn version of Tomb Raider, which is okay, and the Saturn version of Road Rash, again, after watching Sega Lord X. However, there is a little spot missing from the manual I didn't see till I got it in, and when I told him about it, it turns out he had never noticed it either, and I believe him, because it's a very top left. And yeah, kind of looks like silverfish damage. I don't know. He says he didn't have silverfish, but he did buy it used. And another game I bought from him was Fear Effect. I thought this game was worth more than it is, but he sold it to me for about $4. And I looked online, and yeah, with shipping, it goes for about $8. So that's about $4 or $5. I always thought it looked pretty fun, though. Now, for role-playing games, picked up Vandal Hearts 2, because I did beat Vandal Hearts 1 about 2 months ago. That was a lot of fun. Of course, there's some scuffing on the spine there, so it's, it looks solid black, but right there is scuffing, and that's the bane of my PS1 collecting. Picked up Guardians Crusade. Now, this was more of a lark because a guy was selling PlayStation role-playing games for an astronomical sum. He had to have been rigging it because he sold Wild Arms for over $100, and no one's going to pay that. I saw this go for $75, so I went to an actual auction of this, and I entered about $4 and I got it. So now the prices will vary on this. I think generally it's about $10. So I think with shipping, mine was about $8 or $9. But yeah, he had this for like $50 to $75. No way. So he definitely has some people bumping up his auctions. But that was cheap, and I had seen it before, and just on my quest to get them all. It's a Tamsoft game. So the 3 biggie RPGs, or bigger than those, Jade Cocoon, which I saw a trailer of relatively recently, and I thought it looked pretty neat. And yeah, Genki made this, who ported over Virtua Fighter 3 for the Dreamcast, and they did the Tokyo Extreme Racing series. Cartia, this is probably one of the cheaper Atlas role-playing games you can get. I actually thought that the cover, the cover was faded, sun-faded, but no, it's just a really, really light image. And Rhapsody, this is another Atlas RPG. Of course, I picked up now one older. Now this was a disappointment. This is okay. I don't know the English name, but let me show you this. This art. I saw it on someone's Twitter where they put their favorite game art, and I saw this, and I thought, my God, I have to play that. It's skeletons kneeling before a man on a throne. If this ever focuses, and then I saw it had a fan translation, so I jumped on it. Right? Come on. It looks fantastic. However, it's a port of an early PC role-playing game, or a strategy RPG. The problem with that is I don't have a mouse, so using the controller is just downright painful after a while. Second of all, it flickers like crazy. It looks, in still shots, which is what I saw, it looks great. In motion, does not look good at all. Everything flickers. It's jerky. You command units, but it's very loose commands. They kind of go off on and do what they want, and sometimes they don't really do the right thing. Just such a disappointment. When I saw that cover, I read that it was a strategy RPG, and you have an army of demons, and it's from an isometric perspective. Everything, it ticked all my boxes, but when you play it, and Wolf Team made it, it's just clunky. I've read it's pretty fun with a mouse. So I think Hyperkin's releasing a mouse for the Super Nintendo, so I might grab it and play that again. But the screen flickering drove me nuts. When characters move, it's not a smooth animation of walking. It's like they'll half walk and then like flicker and appear at the next spot. Like da-da-da-da. Not a fan of that. Picked up Super Metroid, or Metroid Samus Returns. Haven't played this yet. I actually started playing the Etrian Odyssey 5 demo. I spent a ton of time in that. I brought that with me to Denver, and I played that and River City Ransom, the last one that came out. There's a new one coming out, but it was the one that came with the keychain. I played through most of that, and I went through the whole demo for Etrian Odyssey. I brought Metroid with me, but never even put it in the 3DS. From Special Reserve, I got a physical copy of Shadow Warrior 2. What's unfortunate about this is Limited Run Games then did a run, and not only was Limited Run Games version more limited, which kind of makes this one a little less special. That's not really what my perspective is, but I could see how I see how that would kind of negate some of the appeal of this if you have an even more. But what gets me is the cover was 1,000 times better than this crap. Look at this. This is a terrible cover. Limited Run Games had this more comic book style art. It's real like kinetic. This looks like crap. Like, I was really disappointed when I saw this. But it's a gory, high action, first person shooter. I played the first Shadow Warrior on PC way back when, and you got a code for it when you bought that. So got that in. But yeah, Limited Run Games copy was limited to 1,000 units and had a way better cover than this one, which had a long pre-order in that like deviant art crap. Another game I tried to play was Horizon Zero Dawn. I cannot get into this. I put about 2 hours into it. I had seen video and stuff of it. I thought I was interested in it, but once I started playing it, like, the world just isn't interesting to me. The characters aren't interesting at all. The combat, it just feels so samey. So, but I have known way too many people who like this game to not give it another chance. So I'm going to give it some time, because I did beat Mad Max, and maybe that just kind of open world me out. I'm going to go back to it, but like I said, and I got this tacky cover where it has 9 out of 10 from GameSpot, Giant Bomb, and IGN 9.3. The Nerdist 4.5, Masterpiece. So I know people like it a lot. I have good friends with good taste that love it. I'm going to give that another shot. I am not going to give up on that. Picked up Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. Amazon had this down to $14 at one point. Like $14.53 for pre-order. So I shot that link up on Facebook. Hopefully some people got to take advantage of it. Mega Man 7 and 8 are the ones I really, this camera, are the ones I really want to play. All right, well, those fell. Also picked up Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age, which I have not put any time into. That's because I went through and completed the most important of these, Yakuza. This is the Yakuza 1 remake. And this is fantastic. That's like 3 mwahs out of 3. This game, ground up, rebuild, tons of fun. And what's fantastic is, I can't praise this enough, is if you've played Yakuza 0, which came out after Yakuza 1, because it just came out a few years ago. Or no, it came out earlier this year over here. I don't know about overseas. They retroactively added content to Yakuza 1 with Yakuza 0 by giving backstories to all these secondary characters you meet. Well, in the remake of this, they added more story elements that add more jokes. So you had Yakuza 1, Yakuza 0 came out, fleshed out these characters, added some more content, made them more interesting, added more in-jokes, and then the remake of Yakuza 1 comes out and draws on Yakuza 0. So it's if I could have a GIF of a head exploding, that's what it would be. It's great. It's a great game, and it's cheap. It was like $29. Sega, what are you doing? It's a steal. So yeah, that's what took up a lot of my time. Oh, I also played a ton of Destiny 2. Like I actually paid for PSN to play Destiny 2. The story, I've read a lot of positive about it. Not that great to me. It's there. It's better than the first one. It's more coherent, but not great. They're just now adding more content though, so that's pretty cool. So I'll definitely be jumping back into Destiny 2 after a while. Multiplayer was fun as always. I love that combo of power and weaponry. Some PS2 stuff. I got our Racing Evolution, Ridge Racer. I got this because I thought my white PS2 was broke. I went to go turn it on. The power light went to red. Red online, everyone said it's a blown fuse. So I took the case off. No clue what I'm looking at, but it looked fine. Put it back together. Won't work. And now it worked even worse, but I didn't do anything, so I don't know how I made it worse. Went online, this guy was selling a PS3 with 2 games, 2 controllers for like $30. I said, look, you can toss one of the games. It was a sports game. You can keep one of the controllers just to get the shipping down. So he got it down to like $10 for the console, 1 controller. I did want Ridge Racer because I didn't have it, which I have tested, and very fun. Like, this is a lot of fun. I'm playing through Forza 7 now, and I'm just missing the Ridge Racer feel. I want it to be a little more arcadey. I know you can tweak things, and I'll do it eventually, but Ridge Racer kind of got me got that taste in my mouth. But I used just on a whim the new power brick with the white system, and it booted up just fine. So it was the power supply that was bad, even though the light was green on it and it looked okay. The weird thing is, on my new PS2 Slim, the one I got from the guy, the power light doesn't come on, but it works. So I don't know. But yeah, so my white PS2 seems to be working just fine now with the new power supply. So I put it back on the shelf, and I put the black one away as a replacement. Since the power light doesn't work on it, I don't know if it's going bad or what. The guy had no problems with it. He said he didn't play it too much. But I also grabbed some imports. I don't know if I showed this last time, but I did get Suikoden 4. This is still dirt cheap because I think it's everyone's least favorite of the series. It is very, very cheap, but it's the only one I was missing. I have 2 over PSN. This is, okay, I'm not going to butcher this, but it was released over here as Gekkaio Shooting King. I think Age Tech put it out. It's a top-down shooter. I think it's Shinryu or something overseas. It was released for the PlayStation 1 and Saturn. This is a bundle of that plus a later 3D release for the PS2. Lost Gamer showed us in the video, and I said, that's a good reminder. I need to grab that. And like the next day, a guy had this up on eBay, and I bought it with another game I'll show in a sec. The 3D one didn't get high marks. It's not that good, but the original one, the 2D one, is a lot of fun. So yeah, this was a good buy. What I end up grabbing is the first Phantasy Star from him, but it came kind of beat up, and so I thought, well, I would really like it in a better condition. So I saw a retailer had it. This is this copy. I ordered it. Actually, it's not quite this one, and they sent me a case only, just the game. And I said, hey, that's not what your site said. They go, you're right. We're sorry. Would you like us to send you the regular one, or the limited edition, the one you ordered? I said, yes. I said, what do you want with this other copy? They said, keep it. So I have 3 copies of just the game. I have another full set, and I have this one. So I'll be putting those in the giveaway pile. With that, from that same company, I picked up Phantasy Star 2. Those have fan translations that I want to try. And the last I picked up is Virtual On. The footage I have of that is embarrassing because Virtual On is one of those games where you have to play it for a while, or at least for me, before it clicks with you. Problem with that is it doesn't always click. Sometimes I'll put a lot of time into it and it just doesn't work. I give it a few weeks, go back, put some time in, and it clicks. When I tried to record footages, it did not happen. I think I have every Virtual On release. I think. I got like 6 or 7 of them, and every single one, it's the exact same way every single time, which is, depending on just, how everything works. I either start doing really good at it and I love it, I gel with it, the stiff jumping, the weird lock-on mechanics, all that just clicks, or like last time, no matter how much time I put into it, it just wasn't meant to be and I do terrible. But it's a series I always go back to because when it does gel, it's fantastic. It's so much fun. And I tell myself to enjoy it for as long as I can while I'm playing because I know the second I stop playing, those skills will erode and I'll have to fight to get them back. But that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to everyone later.